Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Marty's Recovery Minute. Thank you for tuning in and checking us out. If you saw our last video, thank you so much for coming back and checking us out. If you're new here, welcome. If you hear something you like, please hit the subscribe button, give us a thumbs up. If you enjoy the content, if you know someone who might benefit from this content, please uh, share this with them or forward them to this channel. We're certainly glad to have everyone. I'd like to thank everyone right now for all the positive comments uh, and and all the uplifting things that were said. Thank you so much. It really does encourage me to continue doing this. So thank you. If you are going to leave a comment, uh, please make sure that your name in town is in the comment, or at the very least your name. I will not respond to anonymous comments. If you are going to make a comment, please be positive, don't be mean, and don't be hateful. Um, One quick disclosure that we didn't have in the prior video. Nothing that we discuss here is intended to replace proper treatment and therapy. If you believe you have a problem with alcohol or drugs, by all means, seek out help from a licensed and qualified clinician in your area. There are plenty of people out there who are very qualified and capable. Let one of them do an assessment and follow instructions. Many times people think that I don't have the money, I can't afford to go get help. And I just want to tell you that there's a lot of stuff out there. There's a lot of state grants. There's a lot of facilities that can see you based on income. There's a lot of places you can go that are at a reduced rate or at no charge or at little or no cost. So you have to be your own advocate, and don't let fear stop you from getting the help you need. Please don't let fear stop you from getting the help you need. Um, that being said, I want to move into the topic for this evening. Um, last video, we talked a little bit about not punishing addicts and alcoholics. And when I was talking about that, I could almost hear head rolling because a lot of people believe, based on the behavior, let's punish the addict, let's punish the alcoholic. Maybe if we punish them enough, they will stop. Maybe we can get them to quit if we punish them badly enough. And that actually sounds logical. It sounds like it might be right. The truth is, however, is it's desperately wrong. Um, Punishment never works. Never works. Consequences, on the other hand, do. And I want to stress that there is a difference between punishment and consequences. Um, Consequences are the natural outcome of an action or an event. Punishment, forgive me, punishment is an intentional attempt to inflict pain or revenge. It often engenders resentment, and resentments will get alcoholics and addicts drunk and high faster than anything. And I realize there's a fine line there between punishment and consequences, I think it's important that we discuss it and become aware of it, to kind of put it in a simplified fashion. If I turn on the light switch in a room, the consequence of turning that switch on is the lights are going to come on, the room's going to be illuminated. Because the lights are drawing electricity, that's going to generate a corresponding electric bill. So there are real consequences for turning that light switch on. Now, let's say I turn that light switch off and the electric company, for some reason, continues to bill me for the light even though it's off. And I receive a bill that's much higher than I anticipated. I'm not going to be very likely to want to pay that bill without some kind of resistance. I'm probably going to argue. It's highly unlikely that they're going to get me to cooperate when I'm paying a bill that I don't feel like is just. And I know that's an oversimplification, but it does, demonstrate the point. Um, Consequences are necessary. The addict or the alcoholic cannot get sober without consequences. Those need to exist. But once we bleed over into punishment, we encourage relapse. And sadly, in our society, if we could create a society that would encourage relapse, we've done it. And here's what I mean by that. Let's say I am a loans officer at a bank. First thing comes to mind. And let's say I have worked many, many years, got a college degree in finance. I have worked very hard to be able to do that. And let's say I have some issues with my teeth and I have to have a root canal. It gets pretty nasty in there, and they have to give me some medication for pain that's more than likely opiate based. And let's say, for whatever reason, whether it be genetics, which is primarily the primary driver of addiction is genetics. Let's say I like those pills a little more than I should. They make me feel good. I really like the way they make me feel. What's going to happen is I'm going to start wanting to have more and more of those pills, more and more of that feeling. At some point, the dentist is going to recognize that my gums have healed, my teeth have healed, and I shouldn't need the pain medication anymore, and therefore will stop giving me the pain medication. Now, by this time, if I have developed a problem with the pain medication, I'm going to think that I'm hurting when I'm actually not. And so what's going to happen is I'm going to start seeking more pain medication to alleviate non-existent pain, when reality is I'm just wanting to feel good. But I'm not seeing it as feeling good. I am seeing it as alleviating pain, and the feeling good is a bonus. And so while I'm out doing this drug-seeking behavior, let's say I get caught buying pills on the street. Now I'm going to get charged with a crime, probably a felony, depending on the amount of the pills. The bank is going to fire me. I will no longer be able to work in the career for which I have trained and spent my life learning how to do it. And the truth is once that occurs, there's not much of a way back from that. There's not really a pathway for me to recover from that. And so what happens is I go through this process, and I go through court, and I get convicted, and the word gets around that I've done this. Let's say I have to do drug court, or I have to be on probation for a while. They're going to require me to get a job. I'm going to be very lucky in that moment to find a job paying minimum wage, and I'm probably going to have to beg to get that. And what happens as a result is a great deal of despair is engendered, because for me in that moment, it's hard to see a way beyond my current circumstance and realize that I'm going to have to find a different route in life. I have seen many people in recovery overcome it. It is possible to overcome, but it is very, very difficult. It's very common for people to go to jail, for example, for, let's say, meth possession, and then do a year or 18 months and come out and can't find a job, or at least one that they can support themselves with. And what ends up happening is over time, that sense of despair kicks in, and they get the addict or the alcoholic gets a case of the screw-its. And so the thought becomes, well, why not use? At least, why not? Why not? Nothing I do is going to change anything anyway. And so rather than the punishment stopping the behavior, it actually can lead to the behavior. And so I hopefully that will further explain this a little more clearly for people. There is a difference between consequences and punishment. Please, if you are out there and you have a problem with alcohol or drugs, I'm quite sure the consequences are starting to hit you. They're uncomfortable for a reason. There is hope for you. Do not end up in a despairing place. You can get much, much better, but you have to be willing to do the work required to get better and go through the discomfort that you're going to go through to get there. If you have a family member who is suffering from this condition, please don't ever give up on them. Don't ever give up. As long as they're above ground, there's hope for them. And if no one's told you today they love you, I do. Remember my motto: always be kind. ABK. Kindness will change the world. Kindness can change your heart. Be kind to the people you love because you may not always have them in your life. But most importantly, be kind to yourself. Until next time, thank you